Do you find yourself repeating the same concepts over and over and over again, and your audience just doesn't seem to be picking up what you're putting down?
I need men who can complete the tasks assigned to them.
Well, I'm sorry to say that you likely have a flaw in the way that you have designed your idea. But
instead, I'm surrounded by fools.
Fear not, we're going to fix that. In this adult book report, we are talking about Made to Stick by the Heath brothers, where we're going to turn your dog shit idea into gold and make it stick with your audience. Let's go. In the book, they outline 6 principles of sticky ideas, but I actually think the easier way to think about this is to think about what you want your idea to do, why it might be failing, and how to remedy that problem. For an idea to stick, be lasting, and memorable, it needs these 5 things. 1, for people to pay attention to it. 2, for the audience to understand and remember it. 3, for them to agree or believe it. 4, for them to give a shit. 5, for them to act. And overlaying all of that is the idea of simplicity. Now, simplicity seems simple, but many people conflate simplicity with the idea of dumbing something down or reducing it to its lowest common denominator.
I can do that.
That is not what we want to do here. Instead, we want to focus on the most important essence of our idea. You want to start by stripping away any unnecessary information, and even then, you've only done the easy part.
Easy peasy.
The hard part is when information is important, but it's not the most important information. That's what you want to strip out next, and then you will have a truly simple idea. So keep that in mind as we go through all of these things. Task 1, get people to pay attention to our message. This entails 2 steps. 1 is getting the attention. 2 is keeping the attention. It's like that Seinfeld episode.
So you know how to take the reservation. You just don't know how to hold the reservation.
Holding of the reservation is really the most important part. If no one's paying attention to your message, you need to surprise them by breaking their guessing machine.
What's in the box?
Oh, it's in a box here now.
What's in the box?
We're all going through our day thinking we know what's coming up.
What's in the box?
And so therefore, the more that you can interject and surprise someone,
More box.
the more likely you are to get noticed. Then do you know how to keep them engaged?
Please, not that question again.
I kind of just did it there. You want to create curiosity gaps. People do not like knowledge gaps and will endeavor to close them. Therefore, the more that you can interject puzzles or questions throughout,
What's in the box?
will keep people engaged and interested and curious about what's coming next. Moving on to understanding and remembering our idea, the key here is to make your idea very concrete. And the biggest reason that this is hard for people is because when you have an idea, it likely means you are an expert in that subject matter. And once you become an expert, you have what is called the curse of knowledge, which means that because you are so skilled in this particular arena, it is hard for you to put yourself back in the shoes of a novice, which are the people that you are trying to convince or have understand your idea. The most naturally sticky ideas are chock full of concrete language and imagery. Next, we need to get people to agree. This is one of my biggest pet peeves in B2B marketing. We always use statistics like gain 30% more efficiency or 4x ROI. And the reality is that statistics are not always, and often they're not at all, the most effective way to gain credibility. Try these instead. The Sinatra test, which explains that basically if you do security at Fort Knox, you could do security anywhere. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere is the concept. And so think about the biggest company in your industry. If you can get them as a client, you can use that as credibility that, hey, they trust us, you should too. Next is the anti-authority, which no one has used as effectively as the anti-smoking campaigns. Here's an example from Pam Laffin.
All my friends say, oh, I want to be like my mom when I grow up, and I can't say that. Because if I said that, then they would think I want to start smoking when I'm 10. If I was her, I'd think I would die because I tried not breathing for a while to see what my mom feels like, but I can't do it. And it makes me sad.
The final example I'm going to cover, although there are more in the book, is the testable credential. This is your Wendy's example. Where's the beef? You can take a look at ours, compare it to McDonald's for yourself, and see we got more beef. Once someone agrees or believes you, it's time to get them to think they should give a fuck. And the best way to do that is to tap into their emotions.
Show you with the box.
Despite our attempts to be logical creatures,
Oh God! Who's in the box?
we make nonsensical decisions
Why? Why would you do that?
all the time.
Why would you do that?
And therefore, the stickiest ideas tap into emotions. In the most basic sense, that means that we want to associate our idea that they don't care about with something that they do already care about.
Don't care what's in the box.
And remember, this is about your buyer. So one of the best thought exercises the book mentions is this idea that it isn't about the world's best seed, but it's actually about the world's best lawn. You gotta go to the benefit of the benefit. This chapter has a lot on Maslow's hierarchy, which you can Google if you'd like to know more, but it really is a lot about tapping into someone's self-interest and their identity, who they identify as today, but also who they are striving to be tomorrow. This is why influencer marketing works so well. Next, we need to convince people to actually do something. Give us money, sign a petition, stop eating junk food, stop smoking. And to get them to act, this is where we use stories, because stories have two parts. One, they provide a simulation, which is knowledge about how to act. And two, inspiration, which is motivation to act. Think about the stories you grew up with. Parables like The Tortoise and the Hare, or David and Goliath, or hell, even OJ, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. The best stories tap into a simple truth and act almost like flight simulators for our brain. And that's it. If you want your idea to stick, use these simple rules that have worked to make ideas sticky over time. We want to invent new ideas, not new rules. So don't try to break the wheel, just go use these. If you've got a book you want me to recap, pop it into the comments below and I will take it under advisement. And if you liked this, please thumbs up it. And if you didn't and you watched all the way to this end, just hate watching me, how about you just go back into the hedge where you came from? Don't dislike this video. Subscribers get notified of more videos like this and other B2B marketing best practices with like a twist from crazy hair Andrea Lechner-Becker. Thanks so much for watching. See ya!